Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Ghosts and Spirits of the Week video. Thought I would mix this one in while I'm going on with the Urban Legends video. This one was actually suggested in the Urban Legends suggestion video, but in reading the information, it seems like it suits more on the Ghost and Spirit side, which is why I decided to include it here. Also, because this was a place I did not know until afterward that I was right nearby it right when I was in Huntsville, Texas earlier this year. I was visiting the Sam Houston Museum down there, and then I went to visit a haunted cemetery there as well that supposedly houses some ghosts with Sam Houston too. But this location is also in Huntsville, Texas, and I had no idea about it. It might actually be a good thing because this might be one of those situations where I'm thankful that I did not come across this one. I kind of know my limits, and so I'll talk about that more in a minute. Has to do with this. That has a very interesting moniker. Immediately, it tells you what its intentions are, and it makes you want to see it even further. It's tempting. It's called the Demon's Road, located there in Huntsville, Texas, which also leads to another very haunted place there called the Martha Chapel Cemetery. Both of them are two in one, like they are essentially one for the other. You can't go to one without going to through the other, and vice versa. So they essentially lead to the same haunting. So let's go ahead and let's talk about all the juicy information associated with this haunted location. So what is the so-called Demon's Road there in Huntsville, Texas, and then also the Martha Chapel Cemetery? Well, they're both locations found in Huntsville, Texas, which is a little bit, if you're in the Austin area, it's about less than a 2-hour drive or so away from here. It's one of those towns where it's almost like a blip. Like you can pass by it, clear it in a couple minutes, but it still has some interesting things that you can see. Like in my case, again, I went to go see the Sam Houston Museum and then the other cemetery that housed the information, or sorry, the ghosts of Sam Houston there. But yes, it's a place where you have to go a little bit even more so in Huntsville, Texas. You try to find a road that's specifically called Bowden Road. That is the official name of the Demon's Road. But in this case, Bowden Road is more like, I guess, it looks, based on the pictures that you're looking at here, seems like it's more like a dirt road rather than anything else, or at least parts of it are more of a dirt road. If someone has been down this road before, please point it out to me. Let me know if there are truly like more paved parts of it, or if it's truly more on the lines of a dirt road. But yes, the way the story goes, if you go down this road, and this just makes it interesting, it could be either during the daytime or during the nighttime, because usually when you hear about haunted locations, this stuff only happens at night. It's just the usual circumstance. But no, in this case, if you go during the daytime, you're going to run into this stuff too. But yes, if you go down that road, you're going to find some very disturbing encounters, some eerie feelings, just basically some crazy stuff, and even more unfortunately, this stuff can apparently follow you home. That's what I was mentioning earlier, that I'm kind of glad I didn't run into this because I kind of know my limits. But here's the info associated with the hauntings. It all ties into that cemetery, that Martha's Chapel Cemetery. It's an old cemetery. If it's anything like the other cemetery I visited there in Huntsville, it's got plots probably from the 1800s, because it's essentially, once the town was created, then the plots started happening there once people started dying out. But apparently these ghosts, they are very active within that cemetery, and they're very private, for lack of a better word. They don't like having lots of people pass down that road, and more importantly, pass into and walk into the cemetery. People that have been brave enough to do so, you can do so, but you have to make sure, everybody that's down there apparently says this, do not do anything to provoke, incite, make mad, anything along those lines, these ghosts, because these spirits, whatever is there, because they're so private, they are already on a short leash. Like they are already already mad that you're visiting that location. But if you're down there and you're doing anything, like let's say hitting on gravestones or just provoking them, doing it like Ghost Adventure style, then you're going to run into problems. Here's some of the encounters, in fact, that people have had within the cemetery itself. They stated that there was a man that wandered, one lady stated there was a man that wandered through the cemetery. She didn't really pay much attention to him because he looked like your average man, like a real person. And you see people, of course, at cemeteries every now and then, so you don't pay too much attention to that fact. But a few days later, she was getting into the shower back at her home, who knows where, but certainly far away from this cemetery. And then when she went in after the shower into her bedroom, much to her complete shock, there was that very same man, the one she saw in the cemetery, staring back at her within her bedroom. Clearly this was something that just totally frightened her, because she realized, this can't be, with regards to whoever this man was over there now being here. And then sure enough, this was further proof when this man disappeared right in front of her eyes. And luckily she hasn't reported seeing him ever since, but she got the shock of her life. There was another person who was at the cemetery who stated that they had an arm that came out from the ground, almost like a zombie movie, grasping, searching, trying to find anything nearby, very much so alive, as opposed to the usual dead people that you would expect to be within a cemetery. And it seemed like it almost honed in on them, because he was with a buddy there at the cemetery as well. And then that's when, of course, they skedaddled out of it, trying to get out of there as quickly as possible. Other people that are there within the cemetery report seeing shadow people, too, especially at nighttime. Like, they'll see these shadow people, some of them actually running straight to them. That would spook the hell out of me, seeing something like that. And then other people report seeing little ghosts, like tiny child-sized ghosts within that area as well, with reddish eyes as well. Other people report that once they get back into their car, they also have these handprints appear within the car, almost like something is touching the car right at that moment, like it knows that you're there. And for all intents and purposes, like you think you're protected, but you're not, but it stops at that point. But then once they get home, they'll find like bunch of handprints all over the car itself, knowing that there was these ghosts making their presence known to it. So much so that there's been over 100 people that have apparently reported handprints being found on their car after they visited this cemetery. Other reports along the road, the Demon's Road, is this, and this is what spooks me, because this is how, I guess, pissed off these ghosts are. If you're driving down that road, you can't even do anything bad within the road itself. Like, you can't provoke the ghost. Like, you can't, like, let's say just out of joking, just out of haste, you're driving down that road, and then you're thinking to yourself, oh, big bad ghost, what are they going to do? You probably even might be saying that out loud. These ghosts already know that you're there. Like, they know, and they're probably with you at that very same time within your car. And once you do so, it seems like you're doomed. Like, they will follow you home and then make their presence known sometime later. Again, that's why I'm so glad I didn't run into this, because like when I was in Tyler, Texas just recently for a ghost hunt there, I usually go in blind to these places wherever I'm going that has haunted experiences. I don't know exactly what's before. I just go in blind, and then that way if something happens, I'll know about it. But it's kind of done on purpose, so that way I don't have anything leading me on. Like, I'm purposely looking for something to make it happen. Instead, I want it to happen on its own. But in this case, if knowing these things beforehand, especially this stuff following you home, I don't want any of that. Like, that's where I push. That's where my limit is met. I don't push beyond that stuff, because the last thing I want is something along these lines, visiting me home, moving things around, that kind of stuff. So it's as tempting as it is to go down this so-called Demon's Road there in Huntsville. Next time I'm there, I'm going to purposely stay away from this stuff, because I don't want at the same time anything like that following. But yes, if you do drive down that road, you have to be very nice, like just, I guess, stay quiet, don't blare your music, don't honk your horn, don't do anything to provoke these ghosts, because everything associated with this road is that as long as you go down it and then you pay your respects, don't do anything to disrespect these spirits along the way, then you'll be fine. They won't exactly do anything bad to you. They'll just probably forget about you, and then that's it. But if you do anything else, then you're going to see these apparitions within the road, including other young children, faceless things. You might see some creatures along the road too. You'll hear things as well, whispers. People report hearing like there's conversations happening, but nobody seems to know where those conversations are from. That's when you know that you've been visited by whatever truly haunts this road, and then subsequently this cemetery too. So I imagine if people live nearby this area as well, because this is truly a road. So, but that notion, then there's houses. You can't have a road really without houses somewhere nearby. So I wonder if all those people nearby experience that crazy stuff too. And if so, like, do they get out of there or do they just tolerate it? Whatever is the case, if anyone lives in Huntsville and has more info on that part, please post those comments below. That'd be really, really great to share your experience on that too. But that's it. That's pretty much all the information associated with this notoriously haunted road and subsequent cemetery there in Huntsville, Texas. Anybody been there? Anybody know someone that's there? Anybody, like family members, coworkers, whatever is the case, that happens to have driven down that road? And if anybody has an experience, anything crazy or kooky, please share your experiences below. That'd be really awesome to hear. I love hearing firsthand experiences from people that actually have been to that location. And again, I count myself fortunate to not have done so. Otherwise, I would have been probably, I don't know, I mean, maybe I would have been just at enough point where I might have visited it closest to the street without actually going to the street. But who knows, they might have pushed things already with regards to that. But next time I'm in Huntsville, I'll be clear to avoid this road, so that way nothing else bad happens to me there. So alright everybody, thanks again as always. Take care.